Okay, well, good morning. I'm Mark Pillsbury from editor of Cruising World magazine, and here today with Sarah Angel Jones from, she's the sailboat sales manager for Beneteau, and she's at our office in Newport, and I'm in my office in Boston, and we're here today to talk about the new Beneteau 40.1. Pretty cool looking new boat, straight from the factory in France. So Sarah, to kind of get things going, let's start out, every boat is built for a purpose. So what's the design brief? What was the thinking that went into the 40.1?
Well, for this boat, I mean, it's the Oceanis range is primarily known to be a cruising range, although it does offer great performance. This boat was meant really for comfort and easy maneuvering and a great way to get out on the water, either for day sailing or cruising. It was designed by Mark Pillsbury, who has a great history of being a naval architect for high-performing boats. So we are really excited about this model, and he created a new hull designed for this boat. And essentially, this boat is replacing the Oceanis 41.1, which we've had for several years. And that was a very popular model. We sold 550 hulls around the world. So we're excited to bring another boat into this size range.
It must be a little bit nerve-wracking replacing, a model that sold 500 boats. That's a pretty good run for any builder. And but I noticed the last couple of Beneteaus that I've been on seem to be, I don't know, kind of peppier. Is that intentional to try to up the performance of these boats a little bit?
Of the recent ones?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we have options to make it more high performance or just more cruising oriented. But yes, we want to be able to accommodate different sailors. Some people come off racing and they still want that high performance, but they're ready to cruise. So we give a few options and features that allow them to build the boat as they want it to perform.
So we'll get into the options in a little bit, but sort of let's take a little tour of the boat. Usually at the boat show, you're walking down the dock and you step from the dock onto the swim platform. So why don't we start there and kind of, walk us through sort of the cockpit area and what's going on deck.
Well, specifically, I love this swim platform on this boat. It's really large, as you can see. When you open the transom, there's an intermediate step. It makes from going to the cockpit down to the platform really easy, comfortable for all ages. There's a swim ladder that drops down. So it's really easy to get in and out of the water on this boat when you're at anchor. When you enter the cockpit, you'll see that it has 2 consoles for driving. Everything you need to access is accessible from the helm in regards to the throttle, the engine control, bow thruster, the navigation screens. And at the helm, there are fold-down seats. So you can drive while sitting, but you can also fold them back up if you want more space and stand while you drive. We really take advantage of the beam of the boat and have a nice big cockpit. You'll see the benches to sit around the table are actually just shy of 6 feet in length. So that's pretty substantial. And we have a nice option for a deluxe table. It has fold down leaves. There's an option to have a little cooler to keep your drinks in that's refrigerated. So there's plenty of space for people to sit and eat as well.
And so talk a little bit about the side decks and up on the bow. What's going on up there? Is, windlass and chain lock. I noticed that is the sprit on the boat, is that a standard feature?
So the sprit comes when you order the downwind pack. Essentially, we have a couple of packs, both upwind and downwind pack, to, again, accommodate what kind of sailing you want to do, what sail plan you're comfortable with. So when you order that, you do get the bowsprit and bobstay, the rigging for code 0 or spinnaker. And, and speaking of rigging, the boat comes standard with a self-tacking jib and a roller furling main. But again, if you want to do something a little different, you can get a full mainsail, classic design with battens, or you can get a roller furling Genoa as well.
So you can go from pretty simple to pretty performance just by which sail plan you pick. So if you, and then there's the first, what's it called? The first package?
Yes. We offer the first line pack, and again, it brings you from cruiser to high performance cruiser. It offers higher performance rigging in regards to, Dyneema halyards, a cascading backstay, a little bit taller mast, flat deck, Genoa furler, and Harken upgrade on the blocks. So there are a few features there that really bring the performance up for you.
So with the basic self-tacking jib, you'd have 2 winches back at the wheels or 2 winches on the cabin top?
So standard is we have 2 winches at the cabin top, and if you choose either the upwind downwind or both packs, you get 2 more Genoa winches aft by the helm station.
So when you're sailing the boat, you trim the sails from the cabin top with a self-tacking jib.
Correct.
And then if you get into the more performance ones, does the main sheet come back to the wheels, or does that always stay up on the cabin top?
The main sheet will stay up at the cabin top, but the Genoa, you'll have the Genoa sheet tracks on the coach roof, and everything's led aft for the spinnaker and for the Genoa.
Gotcha. And the Fairlead tracks, are they adjustable
Yes, they are.
From the cockpit?
Yes.
Oh, cool. And comes standard with a windlass?
There's an electric windlass that's included in the trim level. Nearly everyone orders the basic trim level package, so you get a few bells and whistles in there in addition to the base price.
And it's a twin rudder boat like all of the more modern Beneteaus?
Yes, twin rudders. It really has a good grip when you get up on a heel, and it's nice to have the 2 rudders. It's great for stability and comfort of sailing.
And I noticed looking at a photo of the hull, the chines are very pronounced, and they run pretty much from the bow all the way to the transom. So what's going on there? Is that for interior volume? Does that affect how the boat sails?
That has a dual purpose. If you take a look at the Oceanis range, in recent years when we've brought out a new size, we have created the hull to have the full chine from the bow to stern. It does help with form stability and performance, but it really widens the boat at the waterline, which creates more volume below deck.
I haven't been aboard the 40.1 yet, but I know the other in this new range, or the new look of the Beneteaus, the room in the forward cabin is tremendous. You're able to get into the bed from either side, and it's pronounced how much room it creates.
Well, we found that when you go below deck on this new 40.1, you'll be really impressed by the space and just the ability to move around freely. And in fact, this is the only boat in the size range where you have a clear path from the companionway to the forward stateroom. Most boats in this size range, you'll notice that the salon table really takes the salon space and you have to walk around it. And this is very clear, and you can have 6 people sitting at the table below deck, but still no one's obstructing your way, and it's really quite spacious.
So kind of walk us through the standard model that probably will be popular here in the US. Can you describe the layout of that?
So our standard layout is 2 cabins and 1 head, but also there's a workshop. So this boat has great storage, and the workshop is accessible by the port side cockpit settee. So you can open that up and reach down to the workshop area. Something a lot of people will notice is that we have a C-shaped galley, and this is really something different for us in recent years. I personally think it's great. It creates a lot of space to prepare dinner. It has a double sink. Someone else can also, sit and cook with you, but you're also not in the way, and you don't feel crammed in the way you sometimes do on other boats with smaller galleys.
Yeah, it's kind of like a modified inline galley that was always kind of popular in Europe, and the Americans always seem to want to have this little L shaped in the back, but I think it looks nice, and it really opens up that middle section of the boat.
Mm-hmm. It seems it's a compromise kind of between the straight galley and the L galley.
And so then the owner's cabin forward, what's going on up there?
Very spacious. With the standard layout, you have 2 hanging lockers. There's really plenty of storage space. There's good light coming in through the port lights. And as you said, you can access the bed from both sides, which you don't always get on a boat this size.
And then there's an option for a 4-cabin boat.
There is. It's 4 cabins and 2 heads.
So how do you, so you got, obviously you have the 2 aft cabins. What
Mhm.
happens up at the front of the boat that lets you put the other cabin in?
It does change the shape of where you're sleeping in the berth a little bit, but it takes the starboard side corner of that berth for the head. But again, it's still very accessible to the port side of the bed, and it's not as accessible from the starboard.
So are you guys thinking that's mostly for is somebody putting the boat into charter?
It's certainly an option for charter, and I think it depends how big your family is and who you want to sail with.
Yeah, 4 cabins in a 40-foot boat is kind of that might be a world record. It's pretty good. What's the base price on the boat delivered East Coast US?
244,000.
And that's sail away with sails and everything?
Yes, that comes with your self-tacking jib and roller furling main.
And any electronics in that price?
Most of your electronics you will order in a coastal pack or an offshore pack.
Whose instruments are you using these days?
Primarily B&G.
So if you were to get the, roller furling Genoa and a roller furling main and maybe a Code Zero, what would a boat like that, air conditioning, if the base boat is 244, what would a typical boat be?
So we do offer a lot of packages, as we've discussed a bunch of them. Realistically, once you build your boat, you're probably going to pay around $360.
Around $360 it would be a typical price going out the door.
Yeah.
Okay. And are there any special packages for the American market?
We do offer all of our packages both abroad and here. When it comes to popularity in the United States, definitely both the upwind and downwind pack, the trim level. We do have some people who are interested in the first line. I would say the upwind and downwind pack are most popular. And then, of course, you can get a coastal and an offshore pack for your electronics.
And so what could just talk a little bit about those? Because I think people are kind of interested in the, what the instruments are and stuff.
So with the coastal pack, you get your navigation screen on the starboard side of the boat. And it has basically everything you log, your speed, your Windex. When you upgrade to the offshore pack, you get a wireless autopilot, and you have screens at both the port and starboard helm station.
And is there provisions to put a plotter of some sort down below at the nav station?
Yes, there is also an option to get a 12-inch screen by the chart table.
And so is hull number 1 in the U.S. yet? Or not hull number 1, but are there boats here in the U.S. yet?
So we have our first Oceanis 40.1 arrived a couple of weeks ago to Annapolis. So we're really excited. That's actually hull number 3. And that is a boat. If anyone wants to come and see the boat, please contact your local dealer and we can arrange a visit and a test sail.
Have you talked to anybody in the Annapolis office that's been out sailing yet?
Yes, they said she was quick to get up to speed, and they even tested her out a little bit and stalled her out, and they could get her moving again pretty quickly.
Cool. Look forward to seeing it. Hopefully there's an Annapolis boat show and get out on the boats afterwards. Anything else you should be telling us about the boat? Well,
I mean, it's a very important size range for us. The 40-foot range, it really is a sweet spot for Beneteau sailboats. And as we said, the success of the 41.1 was so great that we're really looking forward to, meeting those same expectations and possibly surpassing them. And we have, a new hull design and great interior volume. And we really look forward to bringing this boat to the American market.
Cool. Really can't wait to see it. So with that, I think we can kind of wrap up this sneak preview of the 40.1. Looks like it's going to be a fun boat to go sailing on. For Cruising World, this is Mark Pillsbury. See you at the boat shows.
Thanks, Mark.